Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Wasn't that long ago that the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation case captured the world? Thought you'd heard enough? Well, now there's a Netflix documentary putting the case back at the forefront for people. Someone who went viral by commentating on the trial is Sydney-based defence lawyer Jahan Kalantar. He's featured heavily in the doco without him even knowing it. He joins us now. Jahan, hi.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Great,
Very
Jahan.
well.
That must have been interesting when all of a sudden you just popped up on Netflix.
It was a weird Thursday. I started getting text messages from relatives and friends. Oh, you did great in that documentary. And I'm thinking, what documentary are you talking about?
Well, this all came about because of your TikToks, which was your daily analysis of the courtroom drama. What did you make of that court case? Because early on you said, well, Johnny Depp's going to be he's going to be let off here, and you were right.
It was a really interesting moment in, I guess, pop culture and legal history. So I can only see the world through the lens of a lawyer. And while I don't practice in the United States, many of the tactical and strategic skills are pretty much the same. And so there was a lot of white noise around this particular trial. But when you cut through it and you started to look at the different elements, you started to see, look, it's likely that she was defamed. And that's what the court ultimately found, as was Miss Heard.
So they were both defamed.
Yes. So essentially the ultimate outcome was that Mr. Depp had been defamed by the op-ed and that Miss Heard had been defamed by representations made by Mr. Depp's attorney at the time. So the victory was really to Mr. Depp because he was awarded substantially more damages, but ultimately the court found both of them had done the wrong thing.
You were quite opinionated about Amber Heard's legal team. What did they get wrong?
I think they did a very, very good job to the best of their ability with a client that was not particularly well received by either the jury or the general public. And I think that what they did was they came off as quite swami at certain times and they came off as quite arrogant. And that's understandable. Defamation is incredibly hard to prove in the United States. And Mr. Heard had already unsuccessfully attempted a defamation action against the Sun in the United Kingdom. And so it was easy for them to go in there thinking this is a lay down misere. But as the trial went on and as the jury started to, I guess, become more conscious of the credibility of Miss Heard and perhaps find Johnny more likable than they expected, they didn't switch tactics. And that's where I think they came a little bit unstuck.
Defamation's become a big thing in our country, though, hasn't it, as well, but not really successful. No one's really won any defamation cases.
Well, the reality is that this type of litigation, large-scale defamation for a powerful person to protect their position, was never done before this, and certainly not done in such a way as to be publicly broadcast on social media. This really was the first of its kind, but I believe it's the start of something. I don't know if anything will ever be this big again, but I imagine that this will be the way that, A-listers and people in power litigate these disputes moving forward, because it really was a PR campaign wrapped up as a lawsuit.
And is that good or bad? How do you as a lawyer feel about that?
I see it. I can cut it both ways. Access to justice is necessarily a good thing. It's good that people can see the evidence unfold and can make those opinions. But the problem is that it also generates substantial white noise. A lot of the experts who were commentating on this thing had no qualification whatsoever. And some of them were saying things that were respectfully unhinged. So it's really concerning because if you're getting your insights from people who aren't qualified journalists, you've got a problem.
And the result's very interesting that Johnny Depp continues to work and Amber Heard seems to be struggling. Funny that.
Yeah, look, it's what we need to always bring it back to is that if somebody is the victim of something as horrendous as interpartner violence, they deserve to be believed. And it's so important that this does not detract from that message in any way, shape or form. The flip side of it, though, is if someone is willing to make unsubstantiated allegations which destroy someone's life, there needs to be some account. And so I'm hopeful that this has brought that message to the general public, and it hasn't kind of washed over the importance of making sure that people in those horrible situations deserve to be believed and deserve to have every opportunity to get out of them.
Well, Jahan, you are great. We're putting you in our speed dial for any sort of defamation law trouble that Amanda might get us into. Wouldn't be me. It would always be Amanda. And you can follow Jahan on TikTok at Jahan Kalantar Official. Thank you for joining us, mate.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.